You can't be effective everywhere if you're not excellent somewhere. I want to talk to you about how to live like a king, how to think like a king, how to operate like a king. You know, most people don't understand that kings ask for crowns, but they don't ask for true leadership. And that's why I want to introduce this opportunity to you. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Martin Williams. I love to help people discover, develop, and deploy themselves into the world that they choose and not lose their lives while they're doing it. So welcome to this powerful series, and I'm titling it, How to Live Like a King. When we say live like a king, we use that word king. This is not about gender. It's not about politics. It's not about position. It's about you being able to identify yourself as a true king. What we also have to understand here is that every king has territory. My territory is not yours. Your territory is not mine. I have a responsibility for certain things, places, callings, purposes in my own life. So the word kingdom means king's domain, kingdom, which means king's dominion. We shorten that to say kingdom. So I am a king. You are a king. What is our domain? Domain doesn't mean control over people. It means mastery over my own purpose. Me being a king does not mean I have to rule over you. That is not what it's about. It's really ruling over myself. Do I have self-mastery? When I walk into a room, I realize I'm walking into a room of kings, monarchs, men and women. They may not know it, but it's my job to make sure that you do. Am I making sense? Your domain and my domain is the place where your gift has authority to work, where your gift has authority to work and your results prove it. Where in your life do you have results from your domain? You're using situations to rule in your domain, in leadership, in medicine, in food, in coaching, in leading a family, in any there, you have a domain that you must live in and you have to discover it. Joseph lived in his domain of economics. Daniel ruled in his domain of government. Deborah ruled in her domain as judgment. And our favorite and best leader ruled in his domain of redemption. What's your domain? What's your domain? Here's what you have to know. Once you know your domain, you can be done with competing. None of the leaders I just mentioned competed in the kingdom agenda. You don't have to compete in the kingdom agenda either. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, just came up in my mind. I was talking to him about business. And what we discovered in our conversation was, in business, your domain may be leadership. In business, your domain may be innovation. In business, your domain may be service. In business, your domain might be building the teams, which is my domain, my genius zone. I just like building teams of people who come together with different thinking, but they form a team that can play together. You can solve more problems with the diversity of your team, the sharpness of your team, and the less competition on your team. That was a great discussion that I was having about business, because sometimes people think a person in my role, I can only use my genius zone in church. I can only use it in religious systems, which I'm not religious. I am kingdom. I am a king. So the same gifts I can use in church, I use them in my business. I use them in my banking service. I use them in my leadership roles. Most of all, I use them in my coaching every day, all the time. In family, your domain might be creating a legacy in this culture. In community, your domain might be influencing others to make an impact. If you don't identify your field, someone else will hire you to build theirs. So good. That just came up. So if you don't identify your field and identify what you're supposed to be doing, someone else will take your talent and build their field using you to do it. So maybe you should ask yourself right now. Ask yourself right now these questions. Where do I naturally bring order? Naturally, I don't even have to think about it, but I bring order in these ways. Next question. What do I fix without even thinking? What problems do I take care of without even knowing or thinking that I'm taking care of them? What do people always come to you for? Third question. What do they come to you for? That's your field. You may not have identified it, but in the kingdom, that is your field. You do it naturally. It's genius. It just comes out of you. That's where everything is for you. That's your crown. That's the crown on your head. It's natural for you. You were born for it. Now we just have to escalate. We have to increase the power of that thing that you have. That's our job. So here is the question. What's your domain? Write it in your journal. Comment below. Put it in the chat. Text somebody. Let them know this is my domain. Let's name it. Name it. Give it a name. Give it something that comes out of you, right? Once you're doing that, now you're establishing domain. Once you start to establish your domain by answering this question, life is going to bring opportunities for you to do what you do with the crown on your head. That's what this is all about. Am I making sense? Now we have to also discuss this idea of decreeing. Kings decree. Kings rule by words, not by works. Kings do use their hands, but they use their spirit the most. They use their minds the most. They use their thinking, their strategy enough, and they use it the most. Don't let your hands do what your mind hasn't thought about. Don't put your hands to work on something you haven't worked through your own genius zone, calling, power, this sense of how you rule. Before your hands start to work, make sure your head and your heart's in it. Kings make decrees. They make declarations. Their words are law. Now, your words can't be the law in my life. My words are the law in my life. And I know there's a lot in our world where people try to create these words, these edicts. They pass laws. They give these laws verbiage. And all these laws are meant to rule you. Okay? I have no problem. I live in the most amazing country in the world, I believe, the United States of America. Now, you should say the same about your country. No matter what shape it's in, you should love your country. Why? Because that's where you're born and that's where you are right now. So don't ever curse the place you live. You want to bless it because you want to live in it, regardless of what's happening around you. Say it with me. I am a king and I should live like a king no matter what country I'm living in right now. You got to think that way. You got to think that way. At least I'm going to encourage you to think that way. My power isn't speaking over you. My power isn't trying to dominate you with my words. My power is to dominate my world with my words. That's where everything changes. That's where the power is. In my declarations about me. My declarations create the culture faster than my efforts would. I could try to build something with these, but if I speak it, it terraforms around me. It's simpler. It's faster. That's how life changes for a king. It's what they say by sitting on their proverbial throne. Every miracle began with words, not wishes. What if you led your life by creating declarations over your expectations from the beginning? Your desired outcomes, you speak over them. You don't wait for anyone else to determine what you can have, what you're going to do, or anything. You take that role with the crown on your head over your own life. I think you should. I know you should. And that's why I want to make sure I'm in your life. I want you to hear me when you go to sleep. I want you to hear me when you're awake, that Martin is saying, stop living that way. Let me show you how to live like a king, because the words of a king define their solution. Let me show you. It's no longer time to talk about what you're going through. Zip that up. Be done with that. Stop it. Start to describe your solution. Start to make decrees that you're on the other side of this. Start to use your voice, and it costs you nothing. It costs you nothing to use your voice, right? Use that model that I'm giving to you. Why? Because if I stop saying I'm trying to make it, and I start saying I'm being made, I am made for this, changes everything. Changes how I feel, changes how people respond to me. It changes how this universe that was built by Creator, by God, the God, not the one other people are creating. When I use those words, it operates with me in my life. I also think we should deal with this subject of transformation. Martin, what's the tool of transformation? How do I get transformed into this person that you're describing, a king? You got to create royal decrees. Daily affirmations that come from your own lips that align your thoughts. It aligns your mind. It aligns you with the kingdom. It aligns you with heaven. It aligns you with everything that has already been done, but it's waiting to be confirmed. It's already been spoken. It's already been completed, but now it's time to happen in your life because you rule your mind, not your emotions. If you rule your mind, you won't have an issue with your emotions. We need to settle these facts in our heads and in our hearts because everything I touch multiplies. Say it. Everything I touch multiplies. I'm not chasing opportunities. Opportunities are really chasing me. I walk in the wisdom of wealth. I am called to be wealthy. I am now wealthy, and every opportunity to be wealthy comes to me. The door is open for me. So now, what will you start decreeing this week that aligns your words with your authority as a king over your life? What are you going to start decreeing that changes everything about your life? Subscribe to my YouTube channel and go ahead and watch the next video.